But you're on the beach. So.
Tell them the truth. Tell them what happened to you.
All right.
What are we doing?
These are the brothers that are preaching the Lord.
They were out on the beach.
Yeah.
You lost your sight, and then you gained spiritual sight.
So basically, I became blind through. I was born with congenital glaucoma, secondary to thalidomide use. My mother was expecting me, and she was given thalidomide to take to combat morning sickness.
Yeah.
This was in the 50s and 60s. They gave it to women to combat morning sickness. Little did they know back then that it affected the developing fetus. Okay, and so as a result, I was born with congenital glaucoma.
Wow.
And I had 4 unsuccessful surgeries. When the doctor saw me, he was scratching his head, and we were deep Roman Catholic because my parents were born in Italy, and so that's the heart of Catholicism. And so my mom had the rosary beads, you know, and everything, and the doctor said, "I've never seen a case like your daughter ever in my career, my whole career as a doctor." He was the #1 specialist at that time. And he says, "Mrs. Racanelli," that's my maiden name. He said, "I give you a thread of hope to hang on to." My mom says, "Doctor, I grip with all my heart to that thread that you give me." Anyway, long and short of it was, I could see until I was 6. I had a little bit of vision. I could never see very well though. And I would hold pictures up this close to my eyes.
Right.
And then I had a fascination with lights. Lights was something I would stare. So flashing lights, blinking lights, any type of light, okay? I would just stare. And my favorite time of the year was Christmas. My parents would put up the tree, I'd crawl under the tree, and I would lay up and just stare at the lights. Just my eyes would follow, you know?
Yeah.
And then we went on several vacations, you know, from the time I was born until I was 6. We went to New York. We went to St. Louis. I remember seeing the Statue of Liberty with my own eyes.
Wow.
The Arch of St. Louis. You know.
The arch.
And anyway, one day we were getting ready. We had gotten up, and I told my mom, "Mommy, it was such a beautiful day outside. Let's go out and let's go for a walk." And my mom says, "Okay, let's have breakfast. Let's get ready, and we'll go." So anyway, as we were getting ready, everything went dark like that. I said, "Mama," I said, "why did you turn off the lights?" And my mom goes, "What do you mean, turn off the lights?" You know, and she knew, and she kind of like bent down, and she says, "What's the matter? Can't you see Mommy anymore?" She opened up her arms to me, and
you were blind from that point.
I was blind from that day on. That day forward, my sight left and never came back. And so then after that, my parents. My dad was a factory worker, okay? He worked in a factory for 39 years, Hostess, you know, where they make ding-dongs and ho-hos.
Yeah.
He was in the shipping department. My mom was a stay-at-home mom. She was a homemaker. And anyway, so my parents would have done anything for my sight to come back. They would have pulled down the moon for me if that's what it took, okay? And my mom wanted to take me to Lourdes, France, where there was the miracle. I don't know if you know the story, where the little girl, she was 12 years old and she saw a vision of
the angel of Mary.
Mary, right?
Or was
Mary
it an angel?
Mary presented herself to her. She appeared to her.
Wow.
And she said, "You will be." Somehow she got blessed, and and people would come and they would have the quote-unquote miracle.
Wow.
Well, we went, and it was, you know, we went there empty and we returned empty. You know, you buy candles to light to the saints, and it was a business. It was a big business. So they dipped me in the water, in the quote-unquote holy water, and it was a pool, and these women would throw water over me and chant these prayers, and of course I was frightened, you know, because I didn't want to be away from my mom. I was, you know, I was like, they're speaking French, and anyway, we returned back home. My mom and dad, they had one car at the time, and we would walk to the Catholic church every Sunday. My dad worked on Sunday, so we would walk about 7 blocks. Across the street from the Catholic church, there was a Baptist church, and they were having VBS. My mom had like that still small voice in her heart telling her, "Put your hand to that doorknob, open up that door," 3 times. She turned that handle, she walked in, and she sees the kids doing Bible drills. You know, they're saying, "Find John 3:16," and they stand up and read the verse, and they would get points, you know. my mom was like spellbound. She's like, John 3:16. She goes, I don't even know where John is. We're New Testament, Old Testament. She had no idea, you know. Anyway, the lady, this one sister from the church stopped and she said, this is VBS. She says, you know, we have a free bus service. We can pick up your kids. And she goes, would you like to leave your kids here? And my mom goes, I'll leave my son. And she goes, well, don't you want to leave your daughter? My mom goes, my daughter's blind. And she goes, that's okay, Jesus loves her too.
Wow.
And my mom, that was foreign to her because the Catholic Church, they didn't let me take CCD, catechism. They said, we don't assume responsibility. So I got saved when I was 7. Prior to that, I'm going to backtrack a little bit. Prior to that, when I was going through the whole losing sight, when I lost my sight, my father took it really bad. And, you know, being the fact that, you know, we came from Lourdes, France, and we didn't get the miracle, and he said, I don't believe in God anymore. There is no God. He goes, God, as far as I'm concerned, doesn't exist. And I remember as a little girl, I said these words to my dad. I go, no, Daddy, no, don't say that. I said, no. I said, I don't want you to go to hell. I said, don't ever say those words. I said, God allowed one door to close in my life, and he's gonna let hundreds of doors open up for me. And he did exactly that, you know. As I got older and I went to school, I got older, I went to college, went to numerous job interviews, and as a blind person, because I ended up, you know, losing all my sight, as a blind person, it was difficult finding job, okay? So, as you can imagine, I became a little depressed, okay? And I got to the point where I said, God, I says, I want more, you know, I says, there's got to be more to life than just me existing. I said, I want to contribute to society. I want to, you know, anyway, he opened up doors for me. I went to learn this customer service job in Little Rock, Arkansas in 2010, and it was a job where it was a vocational school for blind adults. And the Department of the Treasury had this program where they would hire blind adults to work for
you got a job doing
them, you know, for the IRS, answering calls as a customer service rep. And one of the 2 instructors happened to be my husband of today, and he's here.
Well, praise God.
Yes.
That's a powerful testimony.
Oh yes. And I just want to backtrack too. I'm sorry because I don't have notes in front of me, so this was not expected, you know, to give my testimony like this, but it's my pleasure to do so. But I want to say, through my blindness, through my losing my sight, we came from the Lord. My mom and dad, my brother, and my dad has 7 sisters. 4 of the 7 are saved. In fact, one of my aunts, who's here today, she is fervent in the Lord. She is fervent. She's the one that really got it the most out of all of my dad's sisters. And beautiful woman, beautiful soul, beautiful. She'll give her heart to anybody. I mean, she's just so generous. My grandparents on both sides got saved. Very, very staunch Catholics, you know.
All because of this experience that you had.
My mom has 6 siblings that are all saved. 2 are with the Lord right now. My grandparents got saved too. They're with Jesus.